when we're talking about photoperiod, we're really talking about how flowering responds. So when we talk about long days, short days, day neutral, that basically is a clue as to when we use those long days, short days, that's what will trigger plants into flower. But because plants are like people, sometimes they're just not very cooperative. There's a whole group of plants called day neutral plants. Sometimes you'll see it as DNP. Basically what they are is they don't respond to photoperiod at all. They're non-responsive. They usually have a different trigger that basically promotes flowering. And we're going to talk about those in a second. But let's first of all talk about long day plants. And why this is confusing to most people is that when they came up with the terminology back in the 1920s, just before Bill was born, they basically had said this is a long day, but what's really critical is the night length. Long days have short nights. The graphic that I'm using basically shows what happens when if you use a 13-hour dark period, basically on a long day plant, that is a vegetatively grown plant. The plants are vegetative. If on the other hand, you reduce the dark period to 11 hours, which of course gives you a 13-hour day, so the day length is 13 hours, it's long, that plant will be initiated to flower. So when we talk about long day plants, we're talking about how long the day is, but just to confuse it, we're really concerned about how long the night is. And as you get further into this, you'll understand why that's important. Conversely, there's short day plants. These are plants that flower when the days are short. So for example, when you have an 11-hour day and a 13-hour night, then that plant will initiate flowers. Conversely, if you have a 13-hour day and an 11-hour night, the plants will be vegetative. And I think most people really understand that if they've grown poinsettias or chrysanthemums, those are classic short day plants. But there's a lot of plants in our assortment which are technically long day plants. In fact, if you think about it, everything we sell in the spring and the summer, when the days are long, these are long day plants. So we really need to keep that in mind if we're trying to hit really early days. Simplify this, a long day plant is vegetative when the days are less than 11 hours, and they flower when the days are longer than 13 hours. Well, what about 12 hours? Well, it's kind of one of those, as it kind of moves right around 12 hours is when things happen, but the most profound change in growth from vegetative to flowering occurs when that day length is less than 11 vegetative and greater than 13, it's flowering. It's the long day plant. 13 short day plant really is right around 12 hours. So vegetative growth, anytime it's more than 12 hours, and flower initiation any less than 12 hours will give you a flowering response. So a lot of confusing information, but we've got some great tables that we'll share with you at the end where they're located. They'll be in the title of the video where you can find these, but there's categorized a lot of the plant material that we have for bedding plants and also for perennials into whether they're day neutral, whether they're a long day plant or a short day plant. Now, sometimes you see a terminology, I'll just throw it out there, facultative, obligatory. What that means is facultative is they will flower faster under long days, but eventually they're going to flower. Obligatory means that they absolutely have to have that period, that photoperiod to flower. So if they're not absolutely long, they will not flower. The same with short days. There's facultative and obligatory.